Hi everyone, so last week I spoke about things that I'm not going to miss in Korea. Now I'm going to speak about the things that I will miss. Maybe I should have done positive stuff first. Doesn't matter. I like Korea anyway. I specified that in my previous video. And just again, if you're new here, I've been living in South Korea for the past 5 years and I'm going back to Australia very soon, I hope, as long as my flight doesn't get cancelled again. But we'll see. The first thing that I'm going to miss in Korea, I'll try to do this quickly because I have a lot of stuff I'm going to be missing. First thing I'm going to be missing is probably the public transport. It is really convenient and it's really good. Public transport in Australia, this is one of my least favorite things. It's like if you check the bus timetable and you're like waiting for the bus, that's not actually the time that it's actually gonna come. It's just the time that they hope that it's gonna come. If it came, it would be nice if it came at that time. It's like just a hope. It's not really the actual time. There have been so many times where I'll come to the bus stop like 5-10 minutes early, and then I'll be waiting there for like 20 to 30 minutes for the bus that was scheduled for that time, and that's just how it is. many bus drivers like that. They're not so extremely punctual. I don't know if it's gotten better in the past 5 years. I hope it has. But there's been times where the bus came early and then it just left. Actually, that happened here too. Okay, I can't really complain about that. But in Korea, things come relatively on time, but even if you miss your bus or train, they come pretty frequently. I remember in Australia, like in the suburb that my family, in the suburb that I grew up in, when I wanted to take the bus to the train station, I'd have to wait like 20-30 minutes between buses. The only good thing was that there was several buses at my bus stop that went to the train stations. I think there was like 3 buses. Just the only problem is they came like within 5 minutes of each other. So if you miss one, if you miss all of them, you gotta wait like 20-30 minutes for the next batch of them. Here they come like, depending on which bus you're taking, they come between 5 to 15 minutes. Like that's how they're so frequently for buses. And then trains, it also depends on your line, but they come pretty frequently. I think like mine, like when it's not rush hour, it'll come like every 10 minutes or something, 5 to 10 minutes. But then during like rush hour or during busy periods, I guess it would be like within 5 minutes there'll be like another train. So it's really good. And not only do they come really frequently, the public transport's connected to basically everywhere. I remember like in Australia there's a lot of places you can't really get to without a car. So I'm like really glad about that, and also it's so freaking cheap. It's like around $1 per trip. Like it's depending on how far you go, it can cost like $1.30, $1.50, almost $2. Like it depends, but it's pretty cheap per trip. In Australia, I think we pay like, well, I don't know about in all of Australia, but in Melbourne, where I'm from, we pay like, actually I don't know how much it costs now because they change the prices every year. They usually like raise it every year. But last time when I left Australia, it was about like $6 or something for like a daily ticket, which is pretty expensive. And it might cost more for me now because I'm not a student anymore. So I'm really gonna miss the public transport here. Just like added onto public transport, taxis. Some of them are a bit crazy, but they're so cheap here. Like sometimes if I'm going somewhere that's like 15 minutes away, it will only cost me like $7, $5, something like that. I guess it's kind of like the taxis here work like how Uber works in other countries. The next thing I'm going to miss here is restaurants and delivery food. It's like we do have Korean restaurants in Australia too, but I feel like Korean restaurants in Australia feel kind of like a place that you go to every once in a while, like when you're going out, like special kind of thing. But here, a lot of people eat out rather than cook. So there's a lot more restaurants here, and there are a lot of cheaper options here, like less than $10. You can have meals for like $5. Those aren't the kind of restaurants that you go out to with your friends. They're not really like fine dining kind of thing. But when you're eating alone, those restaurants are pretty nice. I tend to do that too quite a lot, especially when I'm really tired or I'm just not feeling like cooking. I'll just go to like a restaurant, buy like a $6 meal, like something that has like a bowl of rice that has like vegetables and meat and stuff like that, and it's only like $5 to $6. I'm gonna miss that being like an option. But other than that, I'm really gonna miss the delivery system. Oh my gosh, delivery food here is crazy. Like you can get almost everything delivered, and it's pretty cheap. It is getting more expensive these days, unfortunately. So hopefully, like, hopefully delivery food isn't so expensive in Melbourne. But I'm gonna miss it. There's a lot of food here that there's a lot of delivery food that I like here, especially like late at night we order like fried chicken or pizza or Chinese food when you have like friends over, and it's just like a really fun aspect of the culture, because they have like this culture called yashik, which means like, what do you call that, like late night food or something. And it's weird because like in Australia I always like used to say no to eating late at night because it's just, I feel like it's just bad for digestion to just eat so late at night. I still feel like that, but here I kind of like learned to just accept it and embrace it. Every time like I have friends over until like 1 a.m, we'll just be like, "Are you hungry?" And we'll either go down to the convenience store or order something, and we'll just like eat really late at night. So this is actually really controversial among like the foreign community in Korea, but I'm actually gonna miss Korean pizza. Korean pizza is so different from Western pizza. So many Westerners, they absolutely hate and despise Korean pizza, but I kind of low-key like it. It's really good. You can actually see my pizza box like right there, because like I'm like, especially like when I'm home alone for holidays. So we just had the Lunar New Year. I used to celebrate that with my family and with my housemates and stuff. So in Korea, spending it alone, or all the holidays alone, I tend to just order delivery food. And one of my go-tos is pizza. I really like it. It's so different from Western pizza. Definitely it is not real pizza. I do get people like criticizing me every time I say that I like it. You know, but like I grew up in an Italian family, so like as an Italian, I'm not like I don't think I'm biologically Italian, but but as someone who grew up with Italian family, like Italian immigrant family, I feel like I'm allowed to like other countries' takes on pizza. Although I must say, like they really do bad pasta here. I have no defense for pasta here, but for pizza, like it's kind of like a fun attempt. It's not like, it would never be like it's not on the top of my list for pizza, but I like it. It's enjoyable. It's a fun take on pizza. Maybe if you don't want to call it pizza, like you can call it inspired by pizza. The next thing I'm going to really miss is the convenience stores. They are everywhere. They're 24/7, and they sell like basically everything, and they're not expensive. I remember like 7-Eleven in Australia, they sell like, they're 24/7. They sell like basically everything too, but they mark up the prices for everything. I remember like, if you want to buy like a 2-pack of toilet paper, it was like $7, and that was pre-COVID. And I think that was because like I was living in the city at the time, like in the middle of the city, and I think it's just like to exploit people who have an emergency at like 3 a.m. And that's the only place you can get toilet paper, so you're just forced to pay $7 for it. Yeah. And then I think like bottled water is like $2 or $3. I hope it's gone down by now, but I remember like bottled water costs so much. Here it's like 80 cents. And just like they sell like all these little snacks and stuff that are like pretty cheap and affordable. So I'm really gonna miss them because I go there so frequently, and I don't know if that's gonna be an option anymore. I hope they have convenience stores back home now. There's gonna be so many things that I'm gonna miss. Maybe like when I go back to Australia, I'll make an updated video and talk about things that I do miss rather than things that I'm going to miss. Okay, so the final thing is shopping. So I mentioned this in the last video. I was not going to miss the shopping for the aspect of like how the customer service is, and that's based on their like boss's orders. Here like shopping is really good. Like you can go shopping everywhere. Shops close at like, depends on which one, but some, like a lot of them close at like 8 or 9, but then some close at like 11 or 12. It really depends on which one. And I just like how you can go shopping really late at night. Like I can just like have dinner and then decide to just go out and do some shopping, or just go window shopping or something. And everywhere, has like there's always a sale happening, and I really like that. You can just walk to a department store and just like you'll find a sale somewhere. There's always a sale happening. For whatever reason, there's always a sale. They find every reason to have a sale, and I love it. And I do like that there's a good variety of like different styles here. Although I do feel like Koreans tend to like follow a different style like every season. Like they'll follow the same style every season. So that thing you're gonna find whatever is in style. You're gonna find that everywhere, like during that season. But I do like that things can get pretty cheap over here. And if you're buying like non-branded stuff, like in the like the non-branded stores, that, especially the ones that are like in the subway and stuff, you can get like really cheap clothes. I remember I got like a pretty nice like t-shirt that was only like $7. So I'm really gonna miss that aspect of things. I like that skincare shops are everywhere because I really like doing skincare stuff, and it's really cheap here. Most products are like under $10, although there are some that are like I think $10 to $20 you can get like most products for, which I'm really gonna miss. I'm gonna try to bring a bunch back with me. Yeah, you know, for the most part, I'm trying not to speak too long about these things, but yeah, I'm really gonna miss the shopping. Shopping here is really good. Like every time you come to Korea, and you need to bring like a lot of extra space so that you can fill it up with a lot of stuff that you're gonna buy here. Otherwise, you're doing yourself a disservice, because shopping here is really good and really fun. As long as you don't mind being followed around or being like having having like stuff like suggest millions of things to you that you didn't ask for. If you can get through that, shopping here is amazing. Anyway, I'm gonna end it here before it gets too long. Thank you guys so much again for watching. Hopefully, things don't get too hectic in the next few weeks and I can just keep up with my uploads, but I'll see what happens. Anyway, thank you so much again. I'll see you next time. Bye.